Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. So today we're going to talk about what does freedom really look like? So, what if the real problem is not that you do not want more freedom, but that you have never seen a realistic way to build it around the life you already have? I was thinking about mission statements recently. Most companies have one. But honestly, a lot of people never stop to read them. Have you read yours? We may have heard the company name. We may see the products or the services. We may hear people talk about the opportunities that their companies offer. But do we not always stop and ask, what is this company actually trying to help people do? So I went back and I read PlanNet Marketing's mission statement, and I'm going to take the time to read it to you guys, okay? It says, true to our mission plan, PlanNet Marketing provides people with the freedom, flexibility, and opportunity to build financial independence now and for the future. The home based business owners can design their business to work with their own needs and lifestyle, not the other way around. You are in control, you are your own boss. Our reps achieve their goals at their own pace and reap the benefits of one of the most rewarding industries in the world, direct sales. You are backed by PlanNet Marketing's exceptional experience, support, and training. It's rewarding, it's social, it's fun. When I read that, I did not just hear business language. I started thinking about what those words actually mean for a real person. Because freedom sounds good, flexibility sounds great, financial independence, hashtag winning. Being your own boss, that sounds good too. But what do those words really mean when you already have an entirely full life? What do they mean when you have a job already? What does it mean when you have children, grandchildren, aging parents, appointments, responsibility, bills, and people depending on you? What does it mean? That is where the mission statement started to mean something different to me. The line that really stood out was this: the home based business owner can design their business to work with their own needs and lifestyle, not the other way around. That made me pause because most of us have spent the majority of our lives doing simply and just the opposite. We have designed our lives around work. We schedule our appointments around work. We schedule vacations around work. We schedule family time around work. We schedule rest around work. Sometimes we even have to schedule emergencies around whether we can get permission to leave what? Work. And many people have accepted that as a normal. You're told what time to arrive. You're told what time you can leave. You're told when you can take a break. You're told when you can take how many vacation days you have. You're told whether your request is approved. I remember those days. And boy, seniority used to get me. And for many people, that system works until life changes. I know it did for me. Maybe a parent becomes sick. Maybe a child needs some more support. Maybe your health changes. Maybe you get laid off, like I did. Maybe your responsibilities increase. Maybe, just maybe, you simply realize that you want more control of your own time. And suddenly, having your entire life built around one source of income or one employer does not feel as secure as it once did before. That doesn't mean everybody needs to quit their job. So I want to make that absolutely clear. I'm not saying that. that just is far from it. A lot of people like their careers. A lot of people need their jobs. A lot of people are not looking to make a dramatic life change. It's not the time for that. But there's a difference between quitting your job and creating another option. There's a difference between walking away from your current responsibilities and building something alongside of them. That's what caught my attention in the mission statement. It's not saying that your life has to stop so you can build a business. No. It's saying that the business can be designed around your needs and your lifestyle. That matters because not everyone has 10 free hours a day. Some people have an hour in the morning. Some people have time during their lunch break. Some people have evenings. Some people just have the weekends. Some people may only have a few focused hours a week when they first begin. The question is not whether everybody can build the same way. The question is whether someone is willing to use the time they do with intention. The mission statement also says, you are in control. You are your own boss. Now, I think that phrase gets misunderstood. Being your own boss doesn't mean whatever you want, whenever you want, and then expecting results. It doesn't mean there is no work. It does not mean there's no discipline. It does not mean there's no uncomfortable moments. Being your own boss means you're responsible. You decide whether you show up. You decide whether you learn. You decide whether you follow through. I mean, that's a given. You decide whether you make that phone call, you send that message, you attend the training, or you complete the task. It's all in your control. There is freedom in that, but there's also responsibility. And I think sometimes people want the freedom of ownership without the responsibility of ownership. You can't separate the two. You are in control. Then you also have to be honest with yourself with your effort. You can't always blame the boss, the company, the schedule, or the lack of opportunity. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing with the opportunity I have? And to be honest, that's not always an easy question, but it is a powerful one. The mission statement also says our reps achieve their goals at their own pace. Hey, Wyoming. That's important too. At your own pace does not mean without action. It doesn't mean you can do nothing and expect something to happen. It means your pace may look different from everyone else's. One person may move quickly. Another person may need some more time. One person may build around a full-time job. Another person may be a caregiver. I can relate with that. Another person may already own a business. I can relate to that too. Another person may be starting over after a major life change. The opportunity may be the same, but the schedule may not. The responsibilities may not. The starting point may not be the same as well. That is why comparison can be so freaking dangerous. You can't look You can look at someone else's progress and assume you're behind without considering what they are doing, how long they have been doing it, or what their current responsibilities are. Building at your own pace means setting a pace that's realistic, but still requires movement. You may not be able to do everything today, but can you do something? Can you learn one skill? Can you reach out to one person? Can you attend a training? Can you take one step? Your pace can be personal, but it cannot be motionless. Another part of the mission statement says that people are backed by experience, support, and training. That is one of the biggest concerns people have when they think about starting something. They wonder, will I know what to do? Will I understand the industry? Will I be left alone to figure it out? Will I have someone to ask when I get stuck? Those are all valid questions. A lot of capable people never move forward because they think they need to know everything before they begin. But most people do not start a business already knowing how to do everything part, how to do every part of it. They got to learn. They have to be trained. Think about when you started your first job. Questions are asked, practice has to be made, and mistakes are sometimes inevitable. But over time, with practice, training, and asking questions and getting answers, you get better. The goal is not to begin as an expert. The goal is to begin willing to learn. Support matters because building alone can make everything feel so much heavier. When you have training systems, guidance, and people who understand the process, the business can feel manageable. You still have to do the work. No one can build it for you. But you do not have to figure out every single step by yourself. And then the mission statement ends with this: it's rewarding, it's social, it's fun. And I think that part matters too. I don't know about y'all, because business does require effort, but that doesn't mean every part of it has to be miserable. There can be reward in learning something new. There can be reward in helping someone. There can be a reward in growing confidence. There can be a reward in realizing that you are capable of more than you thought. It can be social because you are connecting with people. You're having conversations. You're learning about their goals, their concerns, and what they may be looking for. And it can be fun because you're building something that belongs to you. But I also want to be clear. So listen up. Fun does not mean effortless. Rewarding does not mean instant. Flexible does not mean careless. An opportunity does not mean guarantee. An opportunity gives you access. What you build from that access depends on what you do with it. That is why this mission statement made me think. It's not just about joining a company. It is about asking whether you want more control over your time, your pace, your development, and most over your future. It's about asking whether you want to keep depending on only one option. It's about asking whether business ownership could fit into your life in a realistic way. Not whether you quit your job tomorrow, not whether you become successful overnight, not whether everything will suddenly become super easy. The question is simply, is just the question is much simpler than that. Could you see yourself building something of your own alongside the life you already have? Would having training and support make ownership feel more possible? And hey, Mayona, would being able to build at your own pace make you more open to exploring it? Would having another option give you a little more confidence about your future? Those are just the questions this mission statement raised for me. And maybe this is not for everyone, and that's okay. Every opportunity is not for every person. But I do believe more people should at least understand what options are available before they decide that business ownership is not for them. Sometimes we reject things we have never taken the time to understand. Sometimes we assume we do not have enough time. Sometimes we assume that we're not the right personality. Sometimes we assume we need more experience. Sometimes we think that ownership is only for people who already know what they're doing. But what if the real requirement is not knowing everything? What if the starting point is simply being willing to learn, use the time you have, and see whether the business fits your current life and future goals? So I leave you with this on this beautiful and in Virginia Sunday morning. When you hear the words freedom, flexibility, and opportunity, what do those words mean to you personally? Do they mean more time with your family? Do they mean having additional source of income? Do they mean building something that you control? Do they mean having more choices in the future? Are you willing to explore what it would take to create more of that in your own life? Because sometimes the first step is not making the decision. Sometimes the first step is simply being willing to take a closer look. So, on this Monday, y'all know what time it is. It's time for y'all to have a phenomenal day on